This is the Padres POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the
San Diego Padres.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Que Pasa, Padre fan? Welcome to your Padres POSTCAST. That's right, on Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. What a night. Oh, what a night. San Diego Padres back to their winning ways with a 10-5 shellacking of the Arizona Diamondbacks in Phoenix tonight. And yeah, it seems like it was, right? But how about the fact that they scored five times? I did that from my partner, Booker T. We do the UFC preview show on ESPN Radio, but 5 times in the 11th inning, they scored to win 10-5. Luis Suarez with an RBI single starts a new hit streak the night after the old one ended. What a night it was for Laureano. Huge since he's come to the Padres. Enormous game tonight for him. A couple of big extra base hits, bunch of RBIs. Jake Cronenworth was red hot this evening. Manny Machado, 3 hits. Xander Bogaerts, a homer. And just top to bottom, the San Diego Padres getting it done. You notice I said top to bottom. Yeah, Fernando scored a run. I'll get to Fernando a little bit later in the show. We had somebody leave a comment already about him, like, what is wrong with Fernando Tatis Jr.? Maybe he heard A-Rod on Fox last weekend talking about how he's never going to make the Hall of Fame and he's just playing out the string because of whatever. But A-Rod just keeping it real. But what a night for the Padres. Robert Suarez, huge, gets out of jams in the 9th and the 10th inning. The 9th wasn't even his own jam. It was, you know what I mean? He pitched out of it. So we'll give you all that, the ups, downs, the ins, the outs. And, man, they cannot get Lourdes Gurriel Jr. out. But we are sitting right where we want to be right now. Coming into this game, right? 1-1 in the series. We'll give you the updates on the standings, look ahead to tomorrow, and so much more. This is Padres Podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Let's roll.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, just making sure we're all good in the hood right there so I can tell you exactly what happened. By the way, thank you for making us your first watch or listen every day. Myself, Javier Reyes, Locked On Padres podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Man, he gives you the day-by-day stuff, and I give you the postcast right after the game. So myself, I'm on live right after the game, YouTube, to get the smiling, handsome face. You can sub for us there. You can hit that bell so you get alerted when we're coming your way with new content and so much more right there on YouTube, live comments during the show. But, hey, after that, we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, all the above and more, wherever you get your audio version. And you download OTT. Yeah, you know me, this whole city. We could drive the whole city wild. You know what I'm saying? Roku, free, over-the-top television, which is exactly what the Padres gave you tonight. And over-the-top performance, man, that was exciting. That was a fun game to watch this evening. And, you know, it wasn't so great when you're looking at Suarez out there in 2 consecutive innings, you know, with those jams he was in. But really nice job by the Padres tonight. Luis Suarez, the go-ahead single in the 11th inning. Ramon Laureano, red hot to the top. We are red hot. 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Man, he has got 5 RBIs. He's got 8 hits in the 5 games since joining the Padres as their everyday left fielder. Would you say that's an upgrade? AJ Preller, nice job, dog. Really, really nice job. Luis Suarez again was hitless in the game before he drove in the go-ahead run in the 11th inning. Remember, they get the automatic runner. It was Fernando who had made the last out. He's maybe the only guy not hitting right now to his capabilities, but a bloop single, short left field for Suarez, the 3-time batting champ, getting it done. 6-5 lead. They tack on 4 more runs with 4 hits in that inning. Beautiful job. 8 of 10 they've won. And look, they had a Diamondbacks team that was riding a 3-game win streak, including the opener last night. And it got really hairy a couple of times in this game tonight. You know, how hairy did it get, Jim? Don't ask me that. Anyway, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 2 2-run homers in this game. Immediately thinking, like, 2 2-run homers in this game, both of them with 2 outs, both of them after Perdomo drew walks and got on base for him. But think about this. Mason Miller was the guy who he hit the second home run off, right? And that was in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that sent the Diamondbacks fans into an absolute frenzy because the Padres took the 2-0 lead early in the game, right? I'm sorry, Arizona, they tied it at 2. Arizona scored 2 in the bottom of the first. That's right. Padres tied it up. Top of the second, they got them right back after Yu Darvish struggled in the first inning. Arizona added 1 in the fourth to take a 3-2 lead. Padres tied it in the 6th, took a 2-run lead in the 7th, and the Diamondbacks tied it in the 8th before the Pods tacked on those 5 in the 11th. So up and down, a seesaw affair, in Arizona. An interesting game, really, to say the least, right? But in that 8th inning, when that 2-run home run was launched off the bat of Gurriel, who, by the way, in this series, it's ridiculous. I want to say he's 4 for 9 with the 2 homers and like 6 ribbies, and he's insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. You know what I'm saying? So, but the cool thing about that homer, just being a baseball guy and having watched this game my entire life since StatTrack came out or whatever the hell they call it, man, that is the hardest hit pitch for a home run since MLB began pitch tracking in 2008. So what's that? 17 years ago. But the ball was thrown by Mason Miller. The pitch was 103.9 miles an hour. He turned on it, ripped it to left center. He pulled it. I mean, come on, man. 103.9, and he just crushes it, right? But how about Laureano, man? The former Oriole. They traded for him last week. You know what I mean? And all he did, 2-run double in the 7th, gave the Pods the 5-3 lead. He loves going the other way. A couple of bullets the other way tonight as he continues his Derek Jeter impersonation. 8 hits in 5 games with the Pods, you know what I mean? So they got to Ryan Nelson tonight. Dodgers won again, unfortunately, so you're still 3 back, but now you got a 6-game lead. You're 6 games ahead of the Giants, 12 ahead of the D-backs, or rather 3 ahead of, or rather, no, sorry. Let me just slow down here. You're 3 behind the Dodgers. The Giants are 6 behind you, and the Diamondbacks are now 9 behind you. So what was pretty clustered and tight, remember back a little while ago? Now it's just, look, the Padres are right there with the Dodgers. The wild card, we'll give you that before we leave. And, man, just a nice job overall. Just keep scratching, keep clawing, keep fighting, keep going. And how about the play that Jose Iglesias made to end the bottom of the 10th inning? First of all, Robert Suarez comes in the bottom of the 9th, and you're thinking, oh, good Lord, because he didn't start the bottom of the 9th inning, which, obviously that's interesting, right? And it's a 5-5 game, and you're saving your closer for a little bit later on. So Wandy Peralta starts the inning. He gets a ground out, and then he gives up a hit by pitch, okay? Suarez comes in, gets Del Castillo to fly to right field, and gets Corbin Carroll, strikes him out swinging. Then in the bottom of the 10th, Suarez walks Marte intentionally, Ketel Marte. Perdomo flies to right, and Gurriel grounds into double play. The hottest hitter in the Western Division, maybe right now, is Gurriel, the NL West. And he already has 2 homers on the night. It's Robert Suarez. You're having panic attacks. The sweat's soaking through my clothes. And I'm like, man, oh, man, Suarez. Gurriel hits a bullet down to third base. And Iglesias, who's playing there for Manny DH tonight. Shout out Iglesias. Shout out Manny, who had 3 hits. But shout out Iglesias. An absolute bullet in between hop. Could have eaten him up. He gobbles it up. Has the presence of mind to take 2 steps over, shuffle over, step on the bag. Somehow backward, lean back, gets enough on it to throw to first and double up Gurriel, who had to be stunned that the dude even caught the ball. What an unbelievable play by Iglesias. Tremendous, tremendous outing for Robert Suarez tonight. Man, I'm just really pumped to see the way that they did this because they just kept coming. And nobody has benefited more from getting more life in the bottom of that lineup than Jake Cronenworth. He was the only guy down there apparently who could hit because now look at him. Look at me now. I'm a big raker. That's pretty bad. I shouldn't be doing this, but it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. If you're on YouTube, come on in to the comments. We still have lots to do here tonight, but literally, Yu Darvish started this game, and it seemed like so long ago. He went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned runs on 3 hits, struck out 5. Wasn't his best self, obviously, tonight after the masterpiece against the Mets last time out. He's a work in progress. We're all works in progress. But King coming back soon. Darvish, Dylan Cease was great his last time out. And, I mean, Sears got rocked last night. But Pivetta, who's got, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes from here. But we got a lot to talk about. Short time to talk about it in It's Your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. All that coming up and more. But first, a couple of words from our sponsors. First one being FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. And you know what I'm saying? You can start telling those stories. You know, it's great with FanDuel. You can track your favorite matchups. The app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions, fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, pays out fast, and makes regular season games, feel like must-watch events. I love that about FanDuel. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action. And if you are new to FanDuel, we've all been new at one point in time or another, right? New customers, you can bet just $5, make you holler. $5 bet. You get $150 in bonus bets if that bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started with FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And let me tell you about 5 Hour Energy. Can you see me bugging? That's usually what I'm saying about Manny, but time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. That is right. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. I'm in, all in. Give me all of it. Give me the whole case, whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends. This one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. And let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and engaged. You know what I mean? So you have a lot of things that happen out on the golf course, right? I literally had a hole-in-one at Inverary Country Club in the 90s, and that was the day I interviewed Adam Sandler right after the first Happy Gilmore was out, and he was filming The Wedding Singer. That's how long ago that was, but hey, 5 Hour Energy taking that back then too. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use my promo code, LOCKEDONGOLF, to receive 20% off your order. It's only valid until September 30th and on one order. Can't be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. So whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. Little musical accompaniment there for you. Jim Greasehaber, Call Me Grease. What a win for the Padres tonight. Man, they were tremendous in some ways. And look, it wasn't pretty from you, Darvish. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, when you look at what he did, 4 innings, and you're in that bullpen already, 3 hits, 3 runs, they were earned, walked 2, struck out 5, gave up the homer, threw 70 pitches, 72 to be exact, in 4 innings. And then you look at Adrian Morejon, who, you know, one of those vaunted 4 horsemen. They pitched him in the 9th the other night, fish out of water, you know what I mean? But he pitched a scoreless inning, back to his ways tonight with a strikeout. Jason Adam pitched the 6th inning. So Morejon the 5th, Adam the 6th. You could just play with those relievers now if you're Schulte, based on the lineup, based on matchups, all those things, right? Jeremiah Estrada, a scoreless inning. So there's 3 of the 4 horsemen done right there in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings, right? Mason Miller pitches the 8th. You're thinking Suarez the 9th, Dunzo, Rapunzel, right? Because remember, at the time, you're up 5-3, and you're thinking, hey, Miller and then Suarez. So you're getting a look. It's Morejon, it's Adam, it's Miller, it's Suarez. And then Miller gives up the 2 spot, earn runs, the homer to Gurriel, the 2 outs, a walk and a homer. That guy turns on 103.9 mile an hour fastball up around the chest and jacks it out on you to left center. And it's a righty-righty matchup, and it's a high fastball, and you throw it that hard. It's the hardest hit ball since Major League Baseball, on a home run since Major League Baseball began tracking that. So Miller pitches the 8th, and, you know, he made it through the inning, but, you know, obviously gave up the tie. Peralta starts the 9th. It was a disaster. Suarez comes in with a couple of guys on and pitches out of the jam, but he goes an inning and 2/3 struck out one, but did not give up a hit or a run. Great job by Suarez. The closer with the most saves in Major League Baseball evens his record at 4-4 with a win. David Morgan comes on for the 11th inning to slam the door. So now the series is 1-1. You get a chance tomorrow night, if you're the Padres, to steal this series after losing the opener. That's kind of what you have to do here. Told you about the schedule coming up. 2 series with the Dodgers, the Giants, 2 series with each of those teams, right? And then, of course, you got the Red Sox. And then, of course, you got so many other Milwaukee this month. Or not Milwaukee, Minnesota toward the end of the month. And, just a busy month and a big month for the Padres. Got to get the 2 out of 3, though, in Arizona against the D-Bags before you get out of there. And I got a couple of things in the comments real quick before we hit the benchmarks. And Next Gen Breaks wants to know, why does Tatis suck at batting? He doesn't suck at batting. He says he doesn't score. He doesn't scare any pitchers anymore. He hits ground balls when he's not striking out. He kills rallies, ends innings. He has been no help at leadoff. He's also been beamed in the hands like 4 times in the last month. I'm not making excuses for him. It's been a tough year for Fernando since he started off red hot. Looked like he was coming out of it a couple of weeks ago, but he really hasn't. And now that they have that depth, and now that they have the top to bottom threats in the lineup everywhere, man, all you need is Fernando to get hot for 30 days. And look out Dodgers, look out NL, look out MLB. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing JP with the Chihuahuas whenever he gets the start. Interesting, right? So anyway, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, 10-5 the final tonight. And man, we got a couple things to do before we get out of here. First things first is, when did they win the game?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I'd have to say the turning point, man. I mean, it's Suarez pitching out of those jams in the 9th and 10th were huge because he kept them in the game. Could have walked it off right there, the D-backs. And I feel like that momentum coming off, because the D-backs didn't score. The Padres didn't score, rather. The Padres didn't score in the top of the 10th after Suarez escaped that jam in the 9th. But then he goes out there and pitches the bottom of the 10th, starts with a runner in scoring position. So 2 innings in a row. Your closer's giving you that when there's not even a save on the line. Man, you got to come out and smoke them, and that's exactly what they did. So Suarez pitching the way he did into the top of the 11th inning. Tatis starts it as the pinch runner, right, because he made the last out of the inning, or the automatic runner, shouldn't say pinch runner. And, the magic happens from there when Arraez lofts one into left with a base hit. He scores, Fernando does, and, from there it was on. 5 runs in that inning. Manny added 1. He had 3 hits tonight. He's been unbelievable. Bogarts had a homer tonight. Cronenworth had a big game, couple hits, couple RBIs, couple runs scored. Just a nice job all the way around, which brings us to
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
The suspense is killing me. Who's the player of the game, guys? Who is the player of the game tonight? I'm looking at some tremendous performances out of the bullpen, right? I'm looking at Morejon, and I'm looking at Adam, and I'm looking at Estrada. Tremendous jobs out of the bullpen tonight. I left one guy out on purpose because we're getting to him in a minute. Manny Machado had 3 hits. Bogarts was 2 for 5 with a homer and 2 runs scored. Jake Cronenworth, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Laureano. It's going to be Laureano or it's going to be Suarez. Laureano, 3 for 6, 3 RBIs. He has 8 hits and 5 RBIs in those 5 games since coming here. But I have to give it to Suarez. I've been hard on him all year. That inning in 2/3, escaping the jam that Peralta created for him in the 9th, coming out and putting another donut up in the 10th. Tremendous job by Suarez. Got the win. Took this team on his shoulders and said, boys, I'm going to keep us right here. They're getting nada until we score and win this game. And that's exactly what they did. They followed the lead of their closer, and they got it done tonight. Series tied at 1. The rubber match is tomorrow night in Phoenix, 6:40 p.m. First pitch will be here right after with your Padres postcast. And let's look at the line real quick. The Padres are minus 150 on the money line. The total's 9.5. The over is even money. Interesting. That's a good bet right there. And the run line, they're minus 1.5. You got Nestor Cortez, Nasty Nestor. Please, God, he's the guy who gave up the homer to Freddie Freeman in the World Series last year for the Yankees in Game 1, if you're remembering. Cortez came from Milwaukee. He's got decent stuff as a lefty. Maybe he'll be better than Sears was in the opener as a newcomer. But Cortez 1-1 with a 9 ERA, facing Anthony DeSclafani, who is 1-2 with a 4.91. Cortez a lefty, and Anthony is a righty. I'll be here right after the game with your postcasts on all those channels for you. YouTube, we're free. Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever you get the audio version. We upload right after the YouTube show, so you can download. And then we go to Roku. You down with OTT. Yeah, you know me. 10-5 the final. 5 runs in the 11th. Suarez, Laureano, Manny. Just a great night all the way across the board. They got the win, baby. A win is a win is a win. It was a typical Padre win. Great bullpen and grinding out runs when they needed to. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of your Padres Postcast. I will be on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Zanocan, what up, my man? Extra innings went crazy. Dang right, they did. But again, thank you so much for making us your first watch or listen every day. Myself or Javier Reyes with your Locked On Padres podcast. I'll be on Friday's show. We're recording Thursday. Can't wait for that, the crossover like we do on this show. And, of course, day to day, he's got the goods for you on all the same platforms as me. Sub for me is a sub for him and vice versa. Thank you so much for being here. Check out Locked On MLB Game Night as well on Locked On MLB YouTube. And that's a great show, covering every game every night. And it's just crazy how great the baseball coverage is here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. 10-5 Padres in Arizona, even the series at a game apiece. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Padre fans. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. I am out.